Hey there, my name is Jonah, and this is my first attempt at vlogging on YouTube. I've been meaning to do this for a very long time, but I haven't gotten around to it because I wasn't really sure what to say. I'm an FtM transgender, though I fall more into the gender queer range than anything. I'm not sure I believe in gender necessarily anymore. But I am FTM, and I went on testosterone after waiting for it for many years. I went on it in December of 2011, and then I went off of it in December of 2012. Um, so I was on it for a year, and I've been off of it now for a little bit over a year. It's been 13 months. And I learned so much while I was on it. So much about myself, so much about the way that the world perceives gender, so much about my own expectations of gender, so much about my own body, all of the physical changes that occurred, and so much about myself spiritually, emotionally, and ethically through being on testosterone that I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change that year, but I had to end that year. I had to go off of it for many reasons that I'll discuss in my next video. But in this video, in case you are thinking about going on testosterone, or if you are thinking about quitting testosterone, I would like to tell you about the physical changes that occur um, immediately after going on it, and then immediately after going off of it, so that you can know what to expect and know that you're not alone. So when I went on it in December of 2011, the first thing that I noticed was definitely that my voice changed. Within the first month, it had completely dropped. And of course, it got lower and lower over the next few months, but people were already commenting on how low it had gotten within like 4 weeks. I think the next thing I noticed was definitely my menstrual cycle stopped completely. It was either at 2 or 3 months. It was slowing down maybe at 2 months, and by 3 months it was completely gone. And it never returned in the entire year that I was on testosterone. Let's see, another physical change that happened when I went on testosterone was that acne was, it got really bad. I hadn't had acne in a few years because I had been on Proactive for so long, because my skin used to be really bad. So I finally had clear skin, and then testosterone kind of, it gave me acne, I guess from here up to here-ish. It was mostly just on my neck, and I didn't really get any on my face or on my back or my chest or anything like that, so that was very fortunate. I was very excited that I didn't get it anywhere else. But the ones that I did get were kind of like welts. Um, like they were kind of deep and they hurt, and they stayed for a long time. But I imagine had I been on testosterone for longer than a year, my body would have adjusted to the chemical changes and probably gotten rid of the acne over time. I was on a prescription cream for it that seems to be lessening the redness, so that probably would have helped had I stayed on that. Muscle mass. When I went on testosterone, um, I would say within 4 to 5 months, I came back from a run one day and I just looked down at my calf muscle, and it was like it was massive. And I had never really been a lazy person, so I've worked out. I've never really been a runner, but at this particular point in my life, I was running, and so I was very shocked that just like all of a sudden, my calves for the first few months of running were like small, and then just wham, like overnight, maybe 4 months after the testosterone, the calf muscles just completely bulked out, and my arms did the same thing with little to no effort. I wasn't really, I didn't work out with my arms at all, except for bussing tables at work and stuff like that, doing natural things. But my arms got thicker, and my shoulders got thicker, and I never can figure out which way this thing turns. But yeah, my arms got like they bulked out a lot, and all of my dress shirts fit me a lot more tightly. I liked it a lot. And let's see, more muscle mass. Definitely the fat redistribution on my hips happened, and I got more of a male shape with my torso. And hands and feet, of course, stayed the same. Nothing got larger there. My face, definitely, the muscles in my face reconstructed. I had much more square jawline, and my nose, like the cartilage of my nose, sort of thickened out a little bit. Let's see, hair growth. It was weird. The texture of the hair on my head was less soft. It became kind of brittle and coarse. Just kind of a rough feeling. But it was easier to put hair gel in, definitely. Soft hair doesn't really respond well to hair gel. Let's see. Oh, something else about the hair growth. It got thicker on my legs a little bit, but it didn't get very thick on my arms, and even after being on testosterone for a year, I didn't have much facial hair. I did shave maybe like once a week because maybe like light blonde hairs were coming in, and as you can see, my hair is not blonde, so it was kind of weird that I was growing blonde hairs, but it was coming in very lightly, and starting to come around here very lightly, but nothing here ever started to develop. So I didn't get much in the way of facial hair, but the men in my family are not particularly hairy, so I think that genetics had something to do with it, but also I had not been on testosterone but a year, so I don't think it really had time to thicken up. The last physical change I'll mention is just briefly, I'll talk about emotions. I'll talk about them much more in my next video when I talk about why I went off of testosterone. Emotions did play a smallish part of that, but when I was on testosterone, my emotions were much more stable. I could get into an argument with my girlfriend and completely not really feel anything afterward. I had always been an emotional person, and things hurt me very deeply, and I would, go to another room and cry over how much it had pained me. I can't believe you said that to me, On testosterone, I started noticing that I couldn't really cry. And I know that's a very stereotypical thing to say about men, is, boys don't cry. But I was unable to cry the majority of the time when something that would have hurt me happened, and didn't hurt me as much, and I just didn't feel like I cared. It was easier to deal with things, but the adverse side of that is that when certain things happened that would not have angered me before, but rather hurt me, now they angered me, like I was being posed a challenge, like it was a competition of some sort, and I became more combative and easily angered, and I did have road rage pretty badly, and I had never had it before that, and I did some really stupid things on the highway, and my hormone therapy doctor, when I told her these things, she immediately dismissed them because of how prevalent our stereotypes about men are, that the testosterone in them makes them angry, and we use that as an excuse um, for anger and for being assholes, basically. Um, but there was some truth to that, what that hormone did to me and my emotions. So I'll leave that alone for now. I'm sure it may spark some discussion. Discuss away. I'm happy to discuss any of this with you. When I went off of testosterone, switching gears here, a year later, I quit testosterone cold turkey. I had been on it for, let's see, I did 0.4 milliliters a week. Instead of doing it every 2 weeks, I did it every week, just a half dose. So I completely stopped. I didn't wean myself off or anything. And so I stopped, and let me look at my sheet here. I have everything written out. The first thing to happen was 19 days after I stopped, there was menstrual spotting. And then 41 days after I went off, menstrual cycle completely resumed. So it happened a lot faster than when things happened when I went on testosterone. When I went off of it, my body just, it was like, yes, I remember this, and it went back to everything. I mean, it took less than a month and a half for my period to start back, and it's been completely normal ever since. No problems there. My body seems very happy to be resuming its menstrual cycle. It's more normal than it ever was beforehand. Let's see, the next thing that happened when I went off of testosterone was that 29 days, I wrote it down here, 29 days after going off of it, for the first time in over a year, I didn't pass as male to a complete stranger. I remember the moment very vividly. I was sitting in the back of a car going into a parking garage, and she looked in the back seat, and she called me she, and I didn't know that there was no one else in the back seat, but I could have sworn she was talking to someone else back there because it hadn't happened to me in so long. And that was disheartening when it happened. And so I became very paranoid that my face was changing back too quickly. And it was. My face changed pretty fast. The facial redistribution happened. It happened slowly over a course of many months, but it happened quickly too, because I would say that it had resumed its prior shape in about 8 months. It was completely back to the way that it was with fat redistribution. And, my nose went back, and my square jawline completely went back. And let's see. After that 41-day mark, about a month and a half after I quit, I wrote down some other things I had noticed about my body. My muscle mass in my arms and in my calves had decreased quite a bit. All of my dress shirts fit so much more loosely than they had before. So I'm back to all of my men's clothes being way too big for me. And yeah, my calves definitely went back to the little chicken legs I had before. My father also has very skinny legs, so it's just genetics there too. My fat redistributed to my hips. I noticed that after 41 days, that the fat had already, you know, done its thing and gone back to where it had been. And let's see, we already talked about my facial features. After 41 days, had already begun going back. So I wrote down again 10 months after being on testosterone. It was one day at work, literally right around the 10-month mark from being off of testosterone, that I noticed all of a sudden that my stamina was gone. being on testosterone gave me sort of an extra boost of stamina. I could do pull-ups like nobody's business when I could maybe uh, get 4 or 5 real pull-ups done before, and I still had a lot of that stamina apparently left over after quitting testosterone, and I didn't realize it until it was gone. And 10 months into being off of it, I felt weak all of a sudden at work. My job is primarily to move heavy furniture, and I felt like it was exhausting, and it wasn't just a bad day where I hadn't slept much. It stayed. That feeling stayed, and now at 13 months off testosterone, I still have the exact same feeling where I can be strong and I can work out and practice things very well, but my stamina just decreases very quickly, and I didn't realize how much of an advantage I had on testosterone. And so my energy level and my ability to keep going, pushing through something is very different now at 13 months off of testosterone. Um, those are basically the physical changes. If you have any questions, just ask me. I would like to talk to you a lot about more of the perspective changes in my next video, and why I went off of it, and why I don't think that I will ever go back on it. What I believe about gender now, what I believe about other people, how I love other people, and how I love all of you, my family. So just let me know. Let me know in the comment section below. What is your story? How do you fit into my story? Share yourself with me, because that's what this is all about. We're in this together, and there's not a lot of research that has been done. There's a lot yet to pioneer in gender studies, and do everything that you can to increase awareness and to increase your own awareness about yourself and your body and other people and what it is you really believe. So it's been real, guys. I hope to see you again soon. I'm going to start working on my next video, and peace out.